hello, everyone. We are in a weird mood today. It's the first tea time after the launch of Starship Troopers. Hello, everyone. Hello, Robbie. Hello, Alien Gurgi. Hello, Capitan Alatriste. Welcome back. So it's the first tea time we are having after the launch of Starship Troopers, and it's been an incredible week for us. I have to say, we have been looking at results, of course. We have been looking a lot at the feedback from the audience, from the players, and quite a lot of players, to be honest, tens of thousands of players. Interestingly enough, we had an influx of feedback we weren't expecting. So we had to sort of digest a lot of these feedback, and so of course every release comes with its own set of problems. So we had to sort of dash. The developers had to run and release a patch to fix some Turkish operating system incompatibilities and such. So the first week is usually like that, right? You run around like a headless chicken and try to make sense of all the feedback and try to fix all the things. So we're now through that phase, and hopefully we will be able to sustain the game little fixes for the next few months, and then for the next few days, and whilst we discuss about what's coming next. So it's been quite a lot of stuff. Hello, Edmund. It's quite a lot of stuff happening, and of course, thank you to everyone who played the game. We have something like almost 2,500 reviews on Steam with an 85% positive review score, which is amazing. I have to say, after working all these years on the game, the Artistocrats guys have been overwhelmed by the response. So, it's great. It's just like, it feels great. It feels great that the game's been received so well. It feels great that, it has a bright future going, and we're looking at what we can offer you next. So thanks for all your feedback, guys. Steam achievements and point store for Steam. When Skywarp, we are working on it. Actually, one of the things that we didn't put Steam achievements in the first place because we didn't have time to deliver the game and do the Steam achievements at the same time. There was simply no time. So the guys are working on the AGS version. They're working on other little things like Steam achievements, and hopefully this will be an excuse to go back and replay the game to unlock the Steam achievements. So it gives a bit of replayability to the game. Of course, we know that it being a single player product, we know that it just it has an end. So it's great that you guys maybe come back to the game and play it for the achievement. How are the Sisters of Battle coming along for Battle Sector? Ballroom Brian. We are working on the Sisters of Battle, as you know, and thanks for following us early on. We are finishing the Demons of Khorne unit for Battle Sector, and then we will start working on Sisters of Battle. One of the big things that we had from the Necrons release was that there was no single player campaign attached to the Necrons, so we're looking at options in that sense as well for Sisters of Battle. So there's quite a lot of things that we are pondering about on Battle Sector, and because the Sisters is the next thing, we want it to be, super well done. And listening to you guys on what your feedback was on the previous faction DLC, and that's our priority really. Any chance General Rico would make an appearance in a DLC expansion? Crappy 1441. Why not? There is a chance. There is a chance if this goes into the into the future plans, a DLC that involves some of the previously released characters in movies. Not excluded at all. We are not at the point where we can confirm, or because we literally have to sort of go through these conversations, but it's been flagged as an option, that's for sure. And that's just me being entirely open to you on what have been the discussions internally. Abram, Broken Arrow. Broken Arrow is it's been kind of a few months off still. The last build was really about multiplayer and starting to put together. There was a fully playable mission, but it's a long way off. We're not close to release of Broken Arrow yet, so you'll have to take to be a little bit more patient. Plans for elite units. We were planning to do more elite units as we go. Definitely, that's an option, of course. And no other specifications on that, because as I said, we're working on Demons of Khorne and then moving to the next. But that's definitely also an option we have in mind. Orb 505. Any Command DLC news next week? Next week we'll have news about Command DLCs, and Robbie, who's in the chat, is eager to tell you more about these. How's Master of Magic coming along? Right, so Master of Magic, interesting developments. I mean, the game is, I would say, it's not far off being complete. So I'd say that there's a lot of conversation going on about specific parts of the game and how they can be improved, but it's not far off being complete. So it's definitely if you look at the other big releases we have announced over the last few years, and this Master of Magic is one of the ones that are the closest to being released. Stargate. Tommy, we will start beta testing Stargate in about a month's time. We will announce a specific date very soon, but we will start beta testing Stargate in around 4 to 5 weeks. That's the goal we have. And of course, Master of Magic is already in beta, and you can subscribe to the beta there and hopefully be selected for it. So who knows? The other thing I wanted to say, we have quite a lot happening on. Right, so Castinar has applied to non-beta. So because he's as every live viewer of Tea Time is getting a special treatment, I would say that Castinar goes into the next wave of beta testers. Can we make sure that happens? How about Scramble, Battle of Britain? Scramble is going through some redesign phases in terms of the gameplay system and how it actually plays. So the core gameplay is being looked at right now. So we have to be patient for the time being, because it's not going to happen soon. This is happening for more and more games these days, where we announce the game and then we sort of browse what players are expecting from that game. And I wouldn't say that we reassess the development schedule based on that, but we do listen to various feedbacks. And this initial phase, but for Scramble, has been very much like that, right? Listening and then going back to some design choices and redevelop them. And in the meantime, also the team has grown. There's a lot more stuff that's been happening around that game. So we're working on it, but it's not something that's going to happen in the next in an immediate future, I would say. The Ancient Arenas Chariots, which is what you're referring to, Tommy Shelby. Definitely planned to release this year. We are working on the core vertical slice of getting the race right. That's our main goal right now. And getting the race right has a lot to do with, of course, core gameplay features, but also there's a lot of balancing going on that involves a lot of very small things that actually makes things funnier. So it's a game that we will iterate on as much as we can to make sure that the racing part is absolutely spot on, so that that it has a long tail as well, because Ancient Arenas is a brand we'd like to sort of push through as something that goes for a long time, and so it's not just a self-contained game that we just release. We want to make sure that this happens and is developed over time, so that to make that happen, we will have to make sure that we get the core game right. What will the company of Euro style skirmish mode co-op? Cody Orton, it's definitely very requested. As I was saying when we started the stream, we are now at the point where we have to make design choices for what is coming up next. So these things are absolutely going to be taken into consideration. There's things that are easier, like a skirmish mode, definitely going to happen. I would say that I cannot see that not happening in the future. Co-op multiplayer, a bit harder, so it's a longer shot. We'll have to think about how that works, but it's definitely within the scope of things we're looking at right now. Give cryptic clues about the other factions that are planned after Sisters of Battle. Ooh, cryptic clues. I'm useless at cryptic clues, but I know what is happening after Sisters of Battle. So if you send me £1,000 or even dollars are fine, I'll give you the address, and I can secretly tell you what is coming next. Shards as well. Shards, I think, are you coming in cheaper than 1,000 shards, or you're good with 1,000 as well? Because that's something that we can share maybe. Only repeating what I said in scrolls. Oh gosh, come on. You have to be open to bribery. Otherwise, I'm Italian, so. Other things, I wanted to give you a little bit of an announcement, because next week is the release week for Strategic Command American Civil War. So I've got a 2-minute trailer to show you. This is going to be exclusive to you guys today, because we're not going to launch it until the game is out, but at least you see the video, the launch video, the 2 minutes explanatory video for the game, and then we'll be back here to talk about a bit about the game.
Welcome to American Civil War. For the first time in the series' history, Strategic Command will be taking you to the 19th century battlefields of the American Civil War. In this turn-based strategy game, you will control the armies, research, production, and diplomatic policy of either the Union or the Confederacy during a time of great innovation and dramatic battles. Thousands of volunteers are enlisting, and you will need to organize them into brigades, divisions, and eventually corps. Research will have to be undertaken to improve their weaponry and fighting skills, and you will be able to choose from a variety of famous generals to lead them, including Lee, Jackson, Grant, McClellan, Beauregard, and Sherman. In Strategic Command American Civil War, there is a massive 296 by 224 map covering all of North America, from Canada and New Mexico to the Caribbean. Also included are the great rivers of North America, including the Mississippi, Ohio, and Cumberland. And these can now be navigated by all new river warships, with inland ports offering the opportunity for rapid movement. The war on the high seas has also been expanded, with the most diverse roster of warships ever offered by a Strategic Command game. Your admirals will have more opportunities than ever before to achieve victory at sea. And if that's not enough, official mods have been included with the game, allowing players to choose between 2 brand new map styles and the classic style used in our previous games. PBEM++ and Hot Seat multiplayer available too. Immerse yourself in the American Civil War. Now you can, with 6 campaigns covering from 1861 to 1864. You will be able to choose from a variety of new unit types, including balloons, rangers, monitors, river gunboats, and new technologies. naval engines, ironclads, skirmishers, the field telegraph, and many more. The war is just beginning. What are your orders, Mr. President?
Yes. So coming on Matrix Games and Slithering Store on the 30th of, is it June? June. It's hot in here. It's super hot. Imagine, I'm sweating. Imagine Alberto in the same place as me now. It would be just like tripping. As I said, releasing a Strategic Command American Civil War is releasing on the 30th of June on the Matrix and the Slithering sites. It's also releasing on the 14th of July on Steam and GOG. So this has also been creating a little bit of confusion in forums and things. So we're launching on our site first, not because we like for any specific reason, but because next week, today, and I'm going to tell you a bit more about it now, but today is the first day of the Steam summer sale, and it goes on for 2 weeks' time. So it would be sort of stupid to release a game in the middle of the summer sale, of the Steam summer sale. So we decided to push the Steam release afterwards. But still, you know, you'll be able to. This is the sale we have on our site right now. So there's quite a lot of stuff, 30% off. It's basically everything except the very recent releases. They're all 30% off, and the Steam thing, the Steam sale is going to start tonight at 6 p.m. UK time. So basically, this is for Strategic Command American Civil War. The game is one of the is a great way of seeing how how some development project come to life. Basically, this game was a mod of Strategic Command, and then we sort of put the mod as decided to make an official game out of the mod and involve the development guys, the development studio Fury Software. So Hubert and Bill and the Fury Software crew to sort of develop it further into a proper game. So it's great to see that something so cool comes from the community and becomes an integral part of the series. So I'm super happy about it, and we'll see you guys next week to discuss a bit more in depth about it. And I'm seeing if there's any other friendly reminder to everyone that's buying through the series site. Let them give a smaller cut to Steam and Dukes. It's a good point, Sergeant Z-Dog. I mean, we try and push some customers to players to actually buy from our site because there's this bonus, but it's really up to you guys. I mean, we know that there's a lot of different conversion rate issues that are all over the place because how Steam and our site and other site work. They all work differently, so some conversions are just very hard to match sometimes. But we tend to sort of try and push to buy there exactly because of this reason, really. I am talking about a bit of everything right now, but specifically this was about Strategic Command American Civil War releasing on the 30th of June, so next week on Thursday, Wolverine. So that's the main reason. Sometimes some of the war games release on the Matrix site first and then release on Steam after maybe a few months. Thanks for following, Dr. Rikin. But that's nothing to do with the cut and so on. It's just because war games are hardcore games that we prefer to release on Matrix first, gather the feedback from the players, that the last bit of feedback, and make sure that when released on Steam, all these bits and pieces are polished, because the Steam audience, as in the wider audience, are much more unforgiving when stuff doesn't work or just doesn't work as expected. So we tend to sort of use the Matrix Games release to sort of make sure that it is 100% working, and then move it to Steam in a second moment. We did that for the War in the East series. We did that for Shadow Empire. Very complex games that need a very close look at from a wider public before they go into the into the big unknown. Thanks. Hello, Morante. Vietnam come to Steam. Kind of doubt. Right now, we don't have any plan for it to go on Steam. Again, CS Vietnam is a very, very, very hardcore product, and we're kind of a bit worried that Steam would just, Steam players would just slash it and just give negative feedback because they don't really get it or don't understand what it's all about. So it's a big risk to go with some of these games on Steam, to be honest. Flashpoint campaigns, I guess. Southern Storm releasing soon. Joseph, not soon. Hopefully before the end of the year. That's our goal. The guys OTS are working on both the professional side and the commercial side, and sometimes they have to balance their work. They're not a huge team, so they have to make sure that they have time to do both things in a proper way. So we don't have a firm release date yet, unfortunately. You mentioned in a previous stream what was the first Slithering game. The first Slithering game was official Slithering game was Slitherine, was Legion, was 2000 something. We started in 2000. It's probably going to be 2001, 2002. But Slytherine's first developed games. So the reason why Slitherine exists in a way is something completely different, and it morphed into something different because it was a different company altogether. And it's a game called Tyrannosaurus Tex, and it was a Game Boy Color game. I think it's a third-person shooter or something. So something completely different, nothing to do with what we're doing now, basically. Any chance the Horde mode for Battle Sector will have a co-op option? I wouldn't know. But Warren Bryan, I don't know if that's planned, to be honest. I will have to look into that. I don't think so. I mean, at the moment, the multiplayer part of Battle Sector has been sort of we don't have that much focus on the multiplayer part of the game because we are trying to make sure that Planetary Supremacy and it works well, and the content comes in and works and flows in well. And then we'll move to other important parts of the game that needs being fleshed out. But again, it's going to happen over time, and Battle Sector is just less than a year old, and we know that these games are a long adventure for the developers to go through, and they have to sort of almost rearrange their schedule based on what is needed in a specific time. Who was more hungover last Friday, Marco, Edmond, or Julia? The more hungover, Paolo. Usually Paolo, it needs very little to be drunk, so I'd say Paolo number one. Edmond, him being in a completely new city, he found his way home, he's found his way to the hotel, he found his way back home the day after, so I think it was pretty fine. And everybody else was cool, I think. We did have a little bit of a night out, but nothing super special, and especially because we have to escort Paolo home when he's drunk, so that's the end of the evening for us, basically. It's still really hot, Edmund. It didn't change much. All right, so more news I have for you. We are finally launching the first Combat Mission public tournament. It's a beta tournament. I told you quite some time ago that when tournament system would work, we'd then go back and work on putting the tournament system in all the other games we've released, and also work on releasing Combat Mission Normandy So we almost made it. So this is the first public beta tournament. If everything goes fine, then everything was going to roll out pretty quickly after that. If you own Combat Mission Cold War, you can enter the tournament. The first round is going to start on Wednesday next week. There's 2 missions. Yes, it's a 2-mission tournament, scenarios tournament. It's going to be a fast tournament, so you need to play almost like 2 turns a day to complete each round, because being a beta, we want it to be fast and make sure that we do it, fix things, and do another one if needed. But it's definitely gonna happen, start next week. So each round is 10 days. So in a month's time, we'll know if everything works fine. We'll then publicly release the tournament system, and then from then on, Combat Mission is going to evolve in all sorts of different directions. Hopefully, we'll be able to deliver to you Normandy and much more before the end of the year. I think it's going to happen. So I'm now more confident. So thanks, Mark, for working so hard on it, and the development team at Battlefront working, super well just to make sure this happens and works well. So, yeah, subscribe to the tournament and make sure that you enter it so that you can help us test the thing. As I was saying at some point today, I was saying, there's a Steam sale. So there's a Steam. Thanks for resubscribing, Alatriste, Capitan Alatriste. It's been, you're super loyal, so kudos to you. We had a sale going on the site, and there's a Steam summer sale starting today. So there's going to be plenty of very cool things to buy. Most of the games are discounted, and most of the recent releases are not discounted. So you won't find discounts on Starship Troopers, for instance, on some of the more recent ones like we go Stalingrad. Some of these games don't have a discount in this sale, but there's going to be plenty of time for buying these games later anyway. But there's quite a lot. There's something like buying these games later anyway. But there's titles being discounted on our site, and Steam is going to launch later today. So again, lots of opportunities there. We are going to, of course, with the launch of Starship Troopers and the Steam Summer Sale, for us, this is going to be an exceptional month. So we want to thank everyone for supporting us, making our publishing operations bigger and better, and improving the games, and making sure that we grow with our community. That's really the thing that we want to thank you for. Last week stream has been followed by, I think, something like 200,000 people in total at some point. It was just insane amount of people that followed us. So you guys out there have been great, and Starship Troopers has been so successful thanks to you. I just wanted to give just a very final happy birthday to Sonic the Hedgehog, who today is 31 years old. All stuff that's video games, and video games are what we do, so important to celebrate the big milestones. I remember I was a boy when I was a teenager when it's released, and so it's good to remember these days. Shards is answering difficult questions on the chat, and whilst he's at it, I will say that we'll see you next week for the launch of Strategic Command American Civil War. Hopefully have some surprises for you as well. As we mentioned, some announcements. There's going to be some interesting announcements also next week. Watch out. There's going to be a development diary for Modern Naval Warfare as well, being released next week, which is one of the most anticipated games we've got in the pipeline. So watch out for that on the Steam page and on the Matrix Games news front page and forum. And yeah, so I'll see you next week. And in the meantime, go play some games, have fun, and make sure you don't get too hot, because I need to go out and breathe some air. Cheers and see you next week. Bye.